is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone, you are listening to Covert Radio.
Good evening, this is Covert Radio, and it is January the 17th, one day after Martin Luther King Day. You know, we're going to go over a few things here that most of you don't, well, I mean, maybe you may know, but you've never heard it put like this. Because I guarantee you, if Martin Luther King was alive today, if he was alive in this political climate, the way social media is, if he tried to be an influencer in this satanic communist system, how far do you think he would have gotten before he was canceled? You know, all day today, as I ran errands, I went here, I did this, I did that. You know, I would hear, you know, different things on different streams I was listening to or on the radio. It was like, and, you know, this sad music, and today we celebrate a great leader. And I think to myself, do you even know what you're saying? Do you even know what you're saying? Because let me tell you something. There are things that would not be celebrated, and I'm throwing up quotations, be celebrated today if Dr. Martin Luther King was alive today. He would not be celebrated. Because even, you know, even at that, everything that he stood for has been grossly reversed and destroyed. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. A lot of you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, I'm not sure, but I don't know if a lot of people realize that Martin Luther King Jr. was very influenced. He was very inspired and always guided by his Christian faith. Did you guys know that? And I mean, oh yeah, Covert Radio. I know him. He was a minister. Yeah, he was. But, you know, he kind of got away from that right towards the last probably 15 years or so that he became a civil rights activist. But I don't think he's ever really made it public, or his family ever really made it public of, you know, how guided and how much he'd pray. And, you know, almost that he was, I don't know, clairvoyant maybe a little bit, or he had a very good relationship. Like he knew, I think he really knew his time was very limited. Just something tells me that. Like if you really read his speeches or listen to him, it's almost like he knew. Like it's almost like he knew. And this has been said too. This has been said. But other people seem to agree that there's no Christian that played a more important, more prominent role than Martin Luther King did in the social justice movement. So let me take that to today. Tell me one prominent person leading the charge today that the woke mob, communist, Zionist, Satanist controlled system pushes on a pedestal? Tell me one. Tell me one. Who's being led by Christian faith? See, that question alone should wake up certain synapses in your brain and be like, well, wait, you're right. That's actually, no, we don't talk about that. Right? That's what they've done to this country. In just 60 years, that's what these communists, these Zionists, and these Satanists have done to the United States of America. Because I'll give you another example. 1964, at the height of his influence, this is right around the time he gave the speech in Washington, D.C. This is actually a year after, because he gave the speech in Washington, D.C., the I Have a Dream speech. He gave that in 1963. In 1964, this is a few years before he was killed, he was on the cover of Time magazine. He was the first black man of the year in 1964 on Time magazine. So the likes of Martin Luther King has been replaced with people like George Floyd. He was the youngest person at that time ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Did you know that? Yes, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was the youngest person ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize. And he got a check. He got like $50,000 from the money, because it is a prize. I mean, you actually win something. And he donated it to the civil rights organizations, which would be BLM today, right? I mean, because let's just compare apples to apples, but we're actually comparing grapefruit to lava rocks. That's what we're comparing. So you can eat this apple or this orange, or you can eat this grapefruit or a rock I just pulled out of a volcano. But see, these Zionists think you're stupid. The communists think you're stupid. They want you to believe. See, they're rewriting history right now, in case you have not realized that.
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy, Covert Radio. I'm happy, racist white man, because now all the whiteness is going to be removed from America. Let me turn on Nasheed. Let me turn Tariq on, because he talks about this all the time. The whiteness is just going to leave America. Your own words is going to defile you and everything you believe in. They're going to betray you as well, I promise you. Because by the time you realize what's happening to the white race, who do you think is next? Why? I mean, I don't care if you're Hotep, Kemet, whatever you believe, you're the Israelites, whatever you believe. Who do you think is next? Who do you think's next? Like it or not, Europeans have established a vast system, like it or not, that you're a part of. And I'm talking to the racist out there. I'm not talking to the Covert Radio audience. I'm talking to the racists that are listening to me right now. These communists and Zionists and Satanists, they want you to believe that George Floyd is the new MLK. This is the same person, George Floyd, I'm saying, who was doing pornography, blown out on fentanyl, all kinds of other things, fighting with the police, passing counterfeit money. Okay,
not complying, whatever the case may be. We all watched it. We all seen it. We all got some of the facts. But Martin Luther King, again, was led by faith. He was quoted as saying, "We must keep God in the forefront. Let us be Christian in all of our actions." He established that prior to being on the cover of Time magazine. He established that prior. This was public prior to him winning the Nobel Peace Prize. So would that happen today? Again, we're comparing apples, grapefruit, volcanic rock. Would that happen today? Show me a Christian then. You can't, because they're erasing. They're erasing the history of this country. They're erasing the people who have founded it. They're throwing everyone into communist re-education camps by teaching critical race theory and woke ideology and all this other bullshit, in my opinion. And they're constantly silencing those who oppose this. Which, I mean, I've been trained so much just in the last 2 to 3 years, I can't speak freely until I go to Rumble, and then it's only a matter of time before some Zionist buys it up or Google buys it up, right? That's what all the statues being torn down. That's why I said years ago, when the government allows you to riot, you better really think about what's happening here. They're erasing history, but yet they have the balls to celebrate Martin Luther King in the midst of destroying everything he stood for, spitting in the guy's face in the midst of everything he believed in and stood for. They're reversing it, and then you have people, their media head talkers. What a great day. Let's celebrate this great man. And we all have a dream. Yeah, your dream is to make America in your satanic image, while brainwashing everybody that it's evil. You want to teach critical race theory because the Project 1618 or not, whatever it is, again, I don't care. Teach it. See, I learned about this in school. I learned about the trade, the slave trade. I learned about all of it, but I learned all of it from the African kings who were rounding up people, their quotations, own people. And not to mention the countless of hundreds of countries around the world, even today, who have slaves. See, they want to teach you something that's called ideology. It is not reality. That's why hashtag educate yourself. Educate yourself. And that's even getting harder and harder and harder. Because the more Google buys up, the more Google takes over, the more things are digitized, and the more artificial intelligence takes over, it's going to be a digital loop of cognitive bias. That's all it's going to be. One story looped over and over and over and over again. True or not. I mean, they already starting off with their agenda by teaching you only a quarter of the real history about slavery. And I'm speaking of critical race theory, which I want to talk about that for a moment. But a few years before Martin Luther King died, he gave a speech in Washington, D.C. There was 250,000 plus people there. It was called I Have a Dream, or that's what it's referred to now. A lot of people don't know this. That speech was not cleared. The speech that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had given to the government or whoever, gave authority to them to have this march, all the speeches had to be cleared. Every speech had to be cleared that day. Martin Luther King was the last person to speak that day. The speech part of I have a dream was not included in the speech that was cleared. And he felt the immediate inspiration to say those words because he was basically repeating what a woman said down south who was, I guess he went down there for, I don't know if it was a church bombing, something happened. And either she had mentioned that she had a dream and that it was, similar to what he wound up saying, but it was all kind of improv, or it was divine inspiration. Because to this day, we talk about a speech, or it's when you think of Martin Luther King, you immediately think I have a dream. But that wasn't even written as part of his speech. It was possibly inspired by God. That's my point. But he said, I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up. It will live out the true meaning of its creed. The creed being, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. How far removed are we from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream? How far have we gone in the opposite direction in 60 years? Is that what we have now? Is that what BLM and the summers of riots and destroying all cultures other than whatever Marxist communists want to foist down your throats? Is that what we have now? Do we have a country that's that holds to its creed that all men are created equal? Do we have a nation that people are judged by merit? They're judged by their character, not just the color of their skin? Is that what we have? I mean, show me one black man or black woman today. Show me one today that's honored, glorified, or they're on the cover of Time magazine. Show me one that's preaching or proclaiming today that they have a dream. They have a dream of an America that's all men are created equal, that's based on a system of merit or meritocracy or character or even education. People will be judged on their character, their merit. Show me anybody who's saying this today. You won't say that. You won't find it either, because the people that you're going to find, the black women, men and women who are elevated and not ostracized by the woke mob, they are saying the exact opposite. Like people like Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson. And I always say them too because I know the most about them. And this clown on the screen, Snoop Dogg, with his white alter ego Todd or whatever it is. That's Snoop Dogg on the screen right now. And he does dress up like that. But we don't have that. We're 60 years past what Dr. King said. We're 60 years past it, and we've gone in the opposite direction. It's not a dream. It's a fucking nightmare. That's what we have today. That's what we have today. It's not a dream. It's a nightmare. And it's a nightmare for everybody involved. But people are so consumed with bread and circus and drugs and entertainment. Like there was this little thing my wife did to me last night. It was right around dinner time, and she's, I don't know, it was after dinner, and we're sitting by the fire or whatever, and she's like, oh, hey, I said something. I forget what it was. She's like, oh, hey, I wanted to ask you this. Because, she mentioned a friend sent her something on Facebook, and she's like, I'm going to ask you these questions. I was like, what is it? She was like, tell me, keep score of how many of these you've seen more than 10 episodes of. They're all shows. And I told her before she even asked me one question, I said, honey, you know that this is just a marketing question. At some point, they're trying to they're trying to gain a consensus, and it's through AI. They're trying to get a consensus of a demographic and an age group of where they need to put marketing money to, for certain shows. Like, you're going to tell me 100 shows, but this marketing company's probably only responsible for 5 or 10 of them. But anyway, she loves doing stuff like this. So she started asking me this show, that show, Breaking Bad. No. This show, that show. No. Friends. No. The entire list of 100, there were 2 shows that I seen more than 10 episodes of. Just 2. She had a few more than that, but her one friend is like mad at her. So you need to watch more TV, girl. You need to sit back. You need to relax. You need to watch more TV. Like, really? Maybe you need to watch less TV. That's what people were consumed with. I have always said this about the LCDs. Oh, yeah, 70-inch TV for $200. What do you think? They're doing you a favor? You're buying your own brainwashing machine. We have a nightmare today. I'm sorry to say, Dr. King, we have a nightmare. The dream is gone. The dream is gone. Dear God up in heaven, the dream is gone. The communists, the Zionists, the Satanists, they're all staking their claim. They're all planting their flag into America. And they're planting their ideology and their religion into the minds and souls of her people. All races, all creeds, all races, all creeds. Because the voices who speak on this on social media, like Covert Radio, we're ostracized. We're hidden. We're silenced. We're demonetized. We're shadow banned. And then you have the people that are out there and they speak about this stuff on college campuses. They are ostracized. They're called racist if they're white. And what I love more than that is when you're called a race traitor if you're black, just like this clown on my screen. And we're going to get to that in a moment with the Hodge twins. But if you're on a campus, you're in public somewhere, you're in an open debate or some sort of maybe a function where there's a speaker, you get into this with somebody, you're ostracized. There's something wrong with you. Just like Caitlyn Jenner, when you say she's not the most beautiful woman in the world, you're ostracized. What's wrong with you? The screen said she is. The screen said, hey, there's one here that doesn't listen to the screen. There's one here that doesn't listen to the screen. Shut his chip off. They start smacking themselves in the face. Shut his chip off. Shut his chip off. He not listen screen. He not listen screen. Why? Because I say Caitlyn Jenner's not the most beautiful woman on the planet? Shut my chip off. It's where it's going. You think I'm kidding. And I'm not, man. That's where it's going. And we're literally right around the bend. We're not 10 years from this. We're not 10 years from this. Central bank digital currency will be put on this planet this year. It's already happening in other countries. Devastation is coming before they can launch digital currency. I mean, if you think about it, when is the last time you use cash at Walmart? And I'm dead serious. Every store I go to now has self-checkout. You don't have to. It's an option. But, I mean, how don't we have digital money right now? That's all it is. Slip your card in or hold your card on the little keypad or whatever. Boop, boop, boop. Doop, doop. Digital. There's no money. There's no...
We have digital. Why don't you believe that we're only a step away from being chipped? And see, I've said this before. That's what the whole thing with the debit cards is. They wanted to get people used to swipe, scan, swipe, hold it there. Because when we're chipped, we're going to do the exact same thing with it being under our skin on our right hand with the RFID chips. You're just going to hold your hand, boop, boop. But yeah, when you're black, you're called a race traitor. If you're white, you're called a racist. Then you're demonetized. You're socially ruined by the woke mob with Antifa, with AR-15s surrounding the drag queen shows. And, you're ruined by them. You're hunted by them. They go through their standard strategy of hunting you, doxing you, and then they ensure that your job is ruined, your career is ruined. And then on top of all of that, you get canceled. You get canceled from Facebook and Twitter, and you get canceled off of YouTube. And, so then you're socially outcast. You're shunned by society. The very next step is they shut your chip off until you agree to go 6 months for re-education. And re-education is, you will never dare again say that all men are created equal. You were never, ever, ever, ever judge a person on their character or their merit or things they've done, their works. You don't ever judge people on that. People should be judged first, and they'll teach your kids this in 3rd grade, 2nd grade, by their sexual choices, their sexual proclivity. That is what you're judged by first, not your fucking merit, you cult member Christian psychopath, not merit or character. Your sexual proclivity. That's what you're judged by. Then you will be judged by what your pronouns are. Are you he, him? Are you she, her, it, they? What are you? It's not what your education is. It's not how much work you've put into educating yourself or reading or training. None of that. No. Next, just like Hitler and the Nazis walked around with different eye charts to see ultimately who the Aryans are and who the primary race is, blonde hair, blue eyes. They literally had eye charts to see who would get on the trains and who wouldn't. Well, now they're going to be walking around with skin charts. Antifa's going to walk around with skin charts, and the more brown your skin is, the more of a victim you are. The more oppressed you're going to be required to feel. Because brown skin also equals your level of victim identity you need to adopt. And how disadvantaged you must be. The browner your skin, the more disadvantaged and, just horribly treated and oppressed you are in this crazy Christian, oppressive white supremacist society who only has room for the advancement of the white race. That's it. Oh, but there was a black president. Oh, no. We're not talking about yesteryear. 2008, 10, 12. No. We're not talking then. We're talking now in the future. How quickly everything's changed in the last few years, right? Tell me one thing I said that's not true. I will have this fucking conversation with any one of you on any channel at any time. Tell me anything I've said so far that is not 100% true. Society is under communist, Zionist, and Satanist religious re-education. It is their dogma. It is their religion. And on this day, Martin Luther King Day, where we all we just have nothing but respect for the this great man, this great thinker, but yet nobody is putting in their brain nobody has the understanding that we're a polar opposite and we're going in a polar opposite direction from what this great man foresaw for the future of his children? On this day, 60 years past the day that he had a dream and gave that speech, we've gone unbelievably backwards. We do not have a system based on character or one's education or their merit. Nothing. No, we have none of that. It's not the situation we have now. It's worse than ever, and I guarantee you it's worse than he could ever imagine, other than reading in the book of Revelation. What we have now is an unfair and unconstitutional communist agenda, and it wants to regulate all aspects of society, strictly based off of victim mentality, color of skin, how diverse you are, what your pronouns are. Again, all protected by an army of dangerous Antifa militants who walk around with AR-15s. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, CNN. They're defending this forced, dogmatic re-education of America. They're the foot soldiers that Obama talked about. They're the foot soldiers that he talked about, where we need a well-armed, well-regulated citizen militia. That's what you have. Everything we have, they said they were going to do. You're just the idiot that the screen said. You're being brainwashed. This is a forced religion. This is a re-education of all of America. Really all of the world, because this is happening all over the world. They own the media. They own it all. And when you own the media, this is where the desensitizing and the brainwashing happens 24/7. 24/7, 24/7, especially when they start the critical race theory, communist ideology with little boys and girls. It's a religion for these people. And they're forcing it down the throats of everyone in the world, including little kids. Because if you look at the curriculum, or I should say religion of these people, it starts young, and they start them in school. They removed God, remember? They also removed the United States flag, remember? And what they've allowed is all that's taken out of the classroom and really out of the country now. Now it's phase 2 and 3. They've replaced it. They've replaced the American flag in the classroom with a rainbow flag. While at the same time, you have these, I don't know what you want to call them, woke mobsters, I guess. They specifically target a certain race. But I'm the racist. But yet these people target specifically white people. They target white students. There is video after video after video after video after video after video proof of this, where they're demanding that white people renounce their whiteness, while insinuating, basically, and brainwashing that there's something inherently wrong with them for being white. While every commercial, every aspect of the communist media on TV has removed white women for the most part. And if you do see a white woman, it is with a black man. The white men on commercials in media anymore have a black wife or a Chinese wife. And the white women, if you see them, have a black husband. That's it. 90-some% of their media.
Am I lying? I mean, here's the best part. If you're black, and this is along you're a little kid too, say, in your critical race theory indoctrination, you are brainwashed into believing that you're always going to be a victim. A couple years ago when this was going on with what was it? In Oregon or wherever, it was we took over city blocks. I forget what it was. Or I forget. There was an area that they cordoned off and they took over the police station and they renamed it and all this stuff. And I played a video and they're in this park and there's this guy with a bullhorn saying, if you're white, you need to take $10 out of your pocket and hand it to the next black person you see. And I said to you guys, actually, I said, so wait a minute. If Jaden, Will Smith's kids are standing beside me, I got to take $10 out of my pocket and put it in their hand? Yes. Yes, in their religion, yes, because no matter what you have done, your parents have done, your grandparents done, or your great-grandparents have done to secure your future, no matter what, no matter how hard they've worked, no matter if they're business owners, they started businesses, they worked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day for 45, 50, it don't matter. You are a victim. You're always going to be a victim. And the more of a victim you portray to be, the more moral you must be. Just like Anderson Cooper. And I'm not even going to get into that, but he's obviously the moral authority. But see, what they don't tell you is with adapting this type of victim mentality and, always being proud and happy to be a victim. And other people recognize this and they're like, oh, you're a victim. Gee whiz, come here and get some hot chocolate. You want a coloring book? Gee whiz. But nobody tells you that that's devastating for your self-development because you're always going to need help. You're always going to be crippled. I call it crippling. It's going to destroy your character. It's going to destroy any self-improvement, anything you try to do. If you adapt a victim mentality and keep blaming other people, that's what happens. And it's also going to teach you, and I'm not saying even just black, any minority or what's considered minority, you're taught to see your peers only through the lens of race and oppression politics, basically. The darker you are, the more oppressed you are. The whiter you are, the less oppressed you are. We're not going backwards to like plantation rules, but nobody cares. Nobody understands it. And then the good part is once you've done your 12 years of mandatory indoctrination, you can find people like Tariq Nasheed or Umar Johnson. They'll continue the racist victim helplessness mentality that you were taught for 12 years. They'll just continue it on and say, yeah, come here. I want your money now, but you're still a victim. Blame Whitey. It's Whitey's fault. Blame Whitey. And yeah, I still need your money though. So yeah, give me that money. What's that? No, I'm going on vacation. Or no. I mean, I'm buying a, what? Think something. Tariq, think. Oh, I'm going to start the first ever on the planet Earth Black Earth. Well, this part's going to be Black Earth. We're going to make a demarcation and call it Black Earth. First ever, one time ever, biggest ever Black museum. Black owned, Black first, Black all, Black. Can I have $100? Yeah, I'm going to see if I can juice $1 million out of you idiots. I mean, it's going to cost like $1 million. So where are the schematics? Where's the architecture? Where's all the, huh? No, it's, $1 million. That's what I need. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But, they'll demonize you. they'll demonize you. If you try to get away from that, if you try to educate yourself, they're certainly going to come after you. And they're going to keep you away from people, and I call them truth speakers. One of my prayers every day is, Lord, please protect those who speak the truth. And I'll specifically talk about black people who are truth speakers. And I'll say Martin Luther King was one of those people of his time. Absolutely, 100%. The black truth speakers to these ideologists, these demonic beings like Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson and Todd over here on the screen right now, they're fodder. They're cannon fodder, actually. Like, they try to get the woke mob to believe that these people need to be canceled. People like Candace Owens or Larry Elder, Clarence Thomas, even though he's a Supreme Court justice, the highest court on planet Earth, he's still a victim. And he got there, I don't know how he got there. It wasn't through merit, work, education. It wasn't nothing like that. They can't explain how, I don't know. It's an anomaly, because now the way they want it is, as long as, never mind, I'm not wasting time. But yeah, they demonize the truth sayers, the black truth sayers today. David Harris, Herman Cain, Angela Stanton. I'll even throw Thomas Sowell in there. I know he's controversial, but he really has no party affiliation. But I definitely look at him as a conservative. He has conservative Christian values. I love Thomas Sowell. I love Candace Owens. I love Kanye West, because they speak the truth. But here's what happens. You have demonic clowns like this killer right here, whose bodyguard took the rap and he vowed forever to take care of his bodyguard so he wouldn't sit in prison and he could bake muffins with Martha Stewart. This clown, will call them people like Candace Owens and, Larry Elder. He calls them coons, or they're race traitors. I'm going to show you this article right here real quick. This was a few years ago, 2020. Snoop Dogg, this is Newsweek, Snoop Dogg dubs Candace Owens and other black conservatives as the Coon Bunch. And he made a graphic, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. He made a graphic. There's a few things missing from this, but I'm going to show you how the Hodge twins, which they're two black dudes, or they're biracial, but they're twins, and they're on YouTube. But they had a response for Todd over here. Let's see what they said, because I think they were also included. Yeah, they were included on this. So here's the graphic right here that Snoop Dogg tried to put out. And there's Candace Owens and Herman Cain and, okay, there's Diamond and Silk, which she just died. Diamond did. There's the Hodge twins, the bottom left-hand corner. And again, this was put out by Snoop Dogg. A guy who dresses like a white guy named Todd, who is the I can't even, because I don't want this video to go. I mean, I just don't want it to go down for my hate for Snoop Dogg. But I mean, it doesn't get much more, the word he's trying to use, in my opinion, it doesn't get much higher than what he does. I'm going to work for you. I'm going to sell your beer. I'm going to, just like Shaq. And I'm not saying Shaq isn't a great guy, but here's my question. Is there anything Shaq won't sell? Is there any type of merit or character or allegiance to Shaq? Is there anything he won't sell? Just like this clown, is there anything he won't try to sell if he's offered? You're going to exchange making muffins with Martha Stewart for any type of credit you had in the music industry, or whatever your persona was?
and then dress up like a white guy at the behest of whoever told you to do this? Because I do not believe this is your idea. Is this your passage ritual? Is this your club in? Hey, we're going to give you $1 million gig with Martha Stewart. We'll make you two the bosom buddies, the odd couple. Oh, shit, that would be nice. Hey, you want we're going to make $50 million off this, but hey, we'll give you $852,000. Yeah, we're going to make $50 million, but we're going to give you $800,000. See, that's what they've done to rap too, and I'm not getting into all this. They take these young kids who've never had anything. They wave $100,000 in their face, and they're like, yeah, we'll do whatever you want us to. Oh, you want me to wear this little tight shirt? Oh, you want me to hump the devil? Yes. I'll do whatever you want. Yes. But yeah. But here's what the Hodge twins said. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit so you guys can read it. Let's see here. If not, I'll read it because this is pretty far from me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this was 132 weeks ago. So yeah, this was several years ago. This is at Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg posted this today, calling us, along with other black conservative Americans, coons for aligning with the Republican Party. Sorry, but we think with our minds, not our skin color. Oh, that's strike one, Hodge twins. That's strike one. You're oppressed. You're victims. Skin color first, not character, buddy. Okay? Buddies. Sorry, but we think with our minds, not our skin color. Our black ancestors heard chants of coon before the KKK hung them from trees. KKK was started by the Democrat Party, by the way. But here in 2020, blacks are calling other conservative blacks this, which is low IQ ass backwards. And I think to myself, Hodge twins, which are 100% right, it is ass backwards. And what would, on this glorious day, what would Martin Luther King say? Snoop was cool with Trump until he ran for president. Also, what's up with the raccoon in the meme as massa? Shouldn't it be a white man? Shouldn't it be a guy with a small hat? I don't know about that now. But yeah. Let's get Todd back up here. But anyway, I just wanted to go over this. I didn't want to make this long. We're in the polar opposite direction of where Martin Luther King, I guess, saw. Maybe he did have a vision. He had a dream. And they took him out. They've taken a lot of great people out. And they will, and they'll continue to do it. But they cannot stop all of us. But I have a feeling that it's too late because you're either too scared, you're too weak, you're too morally compromised. You're too, I don't know, what's the word? You're too lustful for the things the devil is giving you. You have too much lust. And guess what? That's one thing. That's one thing that God will build a wall against him and you, is lust. You lust after money. You do it once too many times. There's no more forgiving. You know better. You better get yourself in check because these people are fucking magicians. And if you think that there isn't a magic trick being pulled right now, then you're a lemming. And you should not be listening to Covert Radio. You guys take care. Have a good day.
This is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
dispels lies.